On guys, it is Vorse not back, and I have some rather tragic news for you guys today. This marks the end of our sea monkeys population here. You can see they're all black because of the decomposition process. Very saddening. However, I am slowly realizing what I did wrong and what I can do to make our next colony of sea monkeys not end up like this one. So I just wanted to briefly talk about what I started realizing and how we came about this. Firstly, I decided that one day the tank just looked too dirty, and that's when I first went wrong, because I believe they like living in their own filth and that they thrive upon it. So really that was my first problem. I removed them from their environment. I put them into a clean and a controlled pH water for them to be in while I cleaned their tank. And then I added the same water. I checked the pH levels constantly, and as you can see here, I did a little pool test thing. It's for our pool, which we don't have anymore, but works well for detecting the pH. I also bought some litmus paper off the line, and you can see it's Chinese. I don't really care. It works fine, I think. But yeah, so the pH was fine. Directly after we started, I started adding the sea monkeys back into their habitat. The sea monkeys, they made these really erratic and twitchy movements, as if there was something wrong with their spines, or if they were in some sort of pain or something. And at first I was concerned, so I started recording it into my I have a journal, or not a spreadsheet. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I wrote my observations down for the few days that it lasted until their death. But what I started seeing is some of them just went completely slow. They were completely fine, and then after the second day, they started getting twitchy, and then they started moving and stopping like uncontrollably, as if they couldn't make up their mind whether or not they wanted to move or just stand still. This was concerning to me, and I researched it thoroughly. However, I did not find my answer, and I figured it was just the slight shock they were in because I moved them from a different tank. However, the next day, I noticed some interesting differences with the sea monkeys. The first couple of males, they weren't very dominant. They didn't have antlers, or I call them antlers. They're like the horns that the male sea monkeys tend to have. They did not have any of those. However, they did express a very interesting characteristic that I did not notice with the other sea monkeys, and that is that their coloration either changed from the color beige to brown to orange or to pink. Now, I took note of the amount of pink, orange, brown, and beige sea monkeys and noted them on my Excel spreadsheet. I will post a link to that if you guys want to check it out. But I noticed that an increasing amount of sea monkeys were turning pink or orange or beige or whatever. And so I didn't think much of it, other than the fact that perhaps they were just maturing, or this was their original color. Few days later, our first our first sea monkey was down. It was just lying in the ground. It was black and it was decomposing, very evident. That's when I knew something was wrong. I took time to research the problems that could possibly affecting it, and my first idea was pH. However, as you can see, this is from the test the day that I first saw the first sea monkey die, and you can see that that's a pretty average pH for what we want. About a 7.9 to an 8. And obviously the water has been, it's been percolating for a while, so it's not the same vibrance as what it used to be. But yeah, so I freaked out and I went online and I felt this test was just lying to me. I felt like it was lying. And so I got online and I bought this litmus paper. And I finally did the test today. And to my surprise, sorry, it's actually kind of wet. It's rather gross. To my surprise, the litmus paper works quite well. However, I will note that the pH, as we can see here, is like about around an 8 to an 8.5. It's like an 8 to an 8.5, and that's really, that's completely fine. I looked up the recommended pH, that's fine. So then I saw this forum that was the same forum talking about pH, and this one question came up, and it was, why are my sea monkeys turning pink, orange, or brown, or beige? Turns out it is the lack of oxygen in the tank. And that is when I realized that I basically starved them of oxygen, which they need to survive. They need dissolved oxygen just like any other sea creature. So I will be ordering some sort of, or creating a makeshift pump so that we can continuously aerate the water. And hopefully this won't happen again. We will see how our colony fares this time. Alright, so I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe if you have enjoyed it, and come as fast or not today, and I will see you in the next video.